right, let's get a sound check. Mic check, 1, 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. You're canceled, Anthony. You're canceled. It's official. Rescue. You guys ready to go? Ready to rock and roll? All right, Lisa. Let's do it.
No, 1485. 1485. Walking over 10.
Big brother trying to mess with my head. He whispers sweet nothing things better left unsaid. We got our ears to the ground, our eyes wide open and keen. No gaslight, shadows gonna dim our screen.
You're watching Sleuth Intuition Live, hosted by Patrick Vallejos. He is here with the Sleuth crew. Here's Sleuth.
What is up? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to January 2nd, 2026. Start of a whole new year. I guess the question of today's live stream, based on one of the news cases we're going to cover, is there anything good that ever came out of Hollywood, especially for a young person? I mean, think about what happened to all those Disney stars. Like, has anybody checked in on Britney Spears lately? She doing okay? What's up, CJK? Anthony France. Rescue all the dogs. Elisa, thank you for your input. It's appreciated. Thank you. Jari. And all the lurkers and the replay crew. What's up? So, welcome back to another episode of Sleuth Intuition Live. This is our attempt at staying consistent, adding a little bit of a regularly scheduled program to the channel. Well, at least as much as possible. But this is how we're going to break it down. You're going to get hit with some news. And then every episode, we're going to highlight a case. Today's case is going to be the Flora Fires. We try to bring some attention to that case whenever we can, whenever we're feeling inspired to do so. So we'll hit you with the news. We'll bring you a case highlight. And then at the end, really, we're going to open up discussion to anything any case you want to cover, anything that you've seen on this channel, and maybe even during the first part of the live stream, which is the news segment. If you guys catch me early enough in the chat, maybe we'll cover a story that you bring up or that you think needs some attention. Usually the cases that I bring are either very disturbing cases that might have a message behind it, something that a principle, right, that we can discuss. And then the other, I think, might just be a case that's not getting enough attention. And then if we're lucky, we'll have a guest. And if any of you are interested in being a guest at any point, we'll bring on our guests at the top of the second hour. Just let me know. It could be anybody, right? If you're passionate about something or you just want to have a back and forth, a little dialogue, let me know. Shoot me an email at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Anthony says, Sleuth, who do you pay attention to on YouTube when it comes to true crime? Just curious. That's a good question. For me, a lot of the true crime that I watch is like on HBO Max or Prime. Like right now, I'm watching Crazy, Not Insane. Before that, I was watching Inside the Mind of a Psychopath. And then I'll just go back and watch all the documentaries, like the Delphi documentaries, the Evansdale. Somebody should do a documentary on the Flora fires. I think that would be great, right? Get in there in that small town and really like get in everybody's face. I would love that. I would love to see Hannah Shakespeare go down there and fucking start fucking, she's got this like presence. Sometimes we can be a little like kind of shy. She's like, no, I'm here for a reason. Jari MK Ultra. I don't know, man. I like the first 48. I don't really watch a lot of YouTubers anymore. Now that I kind of have a behind the scenes view of how things go down. Yeah. So that's how I get my true crime. I watch a lot of news. Like if I'm on YouTube, I'm just basically checking like for breaking news, and I watch, interestingly, I wouldn't call it mainstream. You know how you have these major networks like Fox and CNN, but then they have their local affiliate, which is really just local news. That's what I like to watch. And lately I've been watching a lot of local news. What's up, Bootleg? Thank you. Cheeks made that beat. That's just the first little part of it, of our little Sleuth Crew anthem. Hydro, what up? Maybe dangerous asking questions about Flora Fire and Flora. Why do you say that? That's really the only way you're ever going to get a real answer, is by being there, boots on the ground, talking to people. Sitting around on social media, like it can be helpful because you're able to kind of network and mobilize, as like a cohesive unit. But you're not really going to be able to get through the layers, you know what I mean? Just depending on court documents and local reporters and journalists that are there, doing the boots on the ground work and stuff like that. Like you really got to get out there. Anthony, when Hannah Shakespeare drilled Tobe was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That's what I'm talking about. Because she really questioned them about the video over on the Delphi case, Libby's video. She's like, why didn't you release it? And I don't know, he was kind of trying to gaslight her. She's kind of backtracked on that a little bit during our interview, but I mean, it was plain as day, right? He was kind of feeding on her ignorance about it. Like, you haven't seen it. So I'm going to act like there's really something gruesome there. But there wasn't. There wasn't anything more to that video than what had already been released. So good to see everybody. Jody Lynn, Jari, Anthony France. She said you didn't think her mother should be at the presser. He says, you know her past, right? It's her mother, you prick. What's up, Eli? Flora, some people got maybe some gang tie relate history like Free Mason, Vinlanders. There's a little bit of talk about Patrick Westfall, but the only reason they talk about Patrick Westfall is kind of in the context like, well, he did Flora, right? This is what Richard Allen's defense team was trying to do in the Franks memo. Because this was already an online narrative, and the people that they were getting information were the worst people, right? I think it was like Crime Night and people like that. So they were already, building building on the sand. Their foundation was not on stone, so to speak. So they tried to create this narrative like, well, Patrick Westfall started the fire in Flora. Somehow Abby and Libby knew. So then they were targeted to silence them. And maybe even to target them for the same reason, right? Racial. Yeah, there's not Hydro. It'd be the perfect case to do a documentary on because Flora's this really small town. You can kind of use Delphi to help bring attention to it. Yeah, you guys can share that website. I don't think I have it in the description. Anthony says, Sleuth, do you think the fire was to hurt people or an insurance job? I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Occam's razor tells me, insurance scam gone bad. But we're going to read some transcripts during some court hearings during a lawsuit. So Galen Rose, the mother of the 4 girls that were killed, successfully sued the homeowners. And we're going to get some inside information by reading those testimonies. So I think we're going to read testimony from the insurance investigator, which is very interesting. Then we're going to hear from the homeowner. I think his name is Josh Ayers. And some of his partners. That's probably all. Maybe even a little bit of Galen Rose, if we have time. Eli says Freemasons would not protect a child killer, guarantee no matter who it was. I don't know, man. I'm never surprised anymore. I mean, they tore the house down, wasn't rebuilt correct. Says insurance. Everything on the surface paints a picture of like an insurance scam. And if nobody was home, it would have just looked like an electrical fire, right? Because if you read the testimony before the fire, Galen was kind of reporting some issues like, hey, there's an electrical issue. It looks like it could possibly start a fire, right? Something's affecting the breaker box. Right in that area, like in the kitchen is where the fire started. The mud room towards the back room. That area. You walk through the mud room and up like 3 steps and you're in the kitchen. You have a kitchen and then to the left is like a dining area. So the fire started all through that portion of the home. So I guess if you're going to make it look like an insurance scam and you think people are gone, right? I think everybody was supposed to be gone or not home, or maybe just the other family in the other apartment that had to wait to exit, right? They were in no danger. So if nobody's home, there's no danger, and you hire somebody to light the fire, tell them, we'll light it in the kitchen because, we have a documented issue there. We have a claim. We have an insurance claim on a fire hazard in the kitchen. Start the fire there. All right. So let's go ahead and start. Let's get into a few crime cases. So if you guys have anything that you think we should talk about, let's go ahead and we'll do that now. Let's get in.
Breaking crime news.
Okay, before we do that, I want you guys to check this out. So this is a YouTuber. I think you can find him at Dude Loves Space. Now, this is a guy with a badass camera and a telescope in his backyard. And this is the sun. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen. It looks like some furry creature. That's true, Hydro. Rescue says Flora4-angels.com, Sleuth. Here, I think she just sent me something. There we go. So go ahead and scan that. Sleuth, have you ever heard of the Richmond Hill explosion? I think so. Is that where that guy blew up his entire home? He killed his wife and son and almost blew up his entire neighborhood. I think we've actually covered that briefly on this channel. If that's the one. From the Free Allen. Yeah, they're obsessed. They're obsessed with the whole Odinism thing. Remember, guys, they're followers, right? Their leaders are the defense attorneys of a child killer. But at the same time, you don't want to just be blind followers of the prosecution. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Again, I got this video off of Dude Loves Space, and apparently he did this from his own backyard with a telescope and a decent camera. I mean, look at this. What is this? If this was hell, like these look like ghostly like figures floating through the air, but I know it's just caused from extreme heat. Check that shit out. You can like I don't know, there's weird like highways of heat the size of our entire planet. So bizarre. And notice this like black hole. Like what the fuck? I mean, what are we gonna do if the entire sun just goes black like that? What's up, bootleg? Did you see that volcano video recently where the lava overtook the posted camera? Incredible. No. Email that to me if you can. I'll put it up on the screen. I am a little bit paranoid about a super volcano in Yellowstone. I mean, there's definitely something brewing down there, right? That place is weird. Have you guys ever been there? Oh, what about the case where the cop shot his whole damn family last year? They swept that under the rug. Which one was that? All right, guys, let's get into the first story. This one's going to be about Roblox. You know, I have young kids in my house who have access to Roblox, and we take what we thought was every precaution, right? Rescue. Judge Gall oversaw a side case to the RH explosion. American, what's up? I had a house blow up by me early in the morning getting ready for school when I was a kid. What was that, like some kind of meth explosion or a gas explosion? Or what's up, Frank Meister? Rescue says I felt the RH explosion. Yeah, we're tiny, Hydro. I mean, look at this. What the fuck is that thing? It's like some fuzzy eyeball that just, oh, it's crazy. I mean, how does something like that just form in the middle of space? So nuts. Yeah, we don't know shit. I'm going to tell you that right now. We don't know shit. We don't know shit about shit. That's the only shit that I do know. Is that we don't know shit. All right, but I thought that this was really good news. So we're going to get into this. Roblox. Finally, somebody is calling them out for what they really are, which is a safe haven for predators. And we've covered that shit for the last 4 years on my channel. We talked about how horrible that place was. And it doesn't matter how many security precautions you put into place. These groomers are 10 steps ahead of us and 5 steps ahead of the investigation or the investigators. Their techniques of grooming and using technology and exploiting our ignorance and also exploiting apps like Roblox, who benefit, right? Or might even participate. I'm going to show you a quick video that I found earlier today, and they actually interview, I think it's the head of security for Roblox. And I'm telling you, this dude is a chomo for sure. No doubt about it. You guys will all agree with me when you see him. You'll be like, that explains everything. So it's a safe haven, but they're being called out, they're being sued, and maybe they possibly even taken down. We'll see what happens. I think this is just the beginning. Oh, it was a gas explosion. Beech Grove officer shot his wife, 2 teenage kids, and killed himself. What the hell happened with that, Anthony? Hey, Fishy. Missed what? We're just getting started. Starting with the news segment. Roblox, finally getting the negative attention that they deserve. Being called out. A safe haven for predators. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They need to change. And it takes action like this to make change. Yeah, good to see you, Fishy. What up? What up? Yeah, even with supervision, there's still danger, right? You have predators with voice changers, and Roblox says, well, you can't exchange photographs or video here. Well, no shit, dumbass, but you're facilitating it. This is Predator 101, right? They always send you to a secondary location, just like a killer would in real life, right? A killer approaches you, right? Go into the woods or get in my car. Why? So they can take you somewhere where they can abuse you. Oh, yeah, well, we don't allow that here. But you allow them to make contact and to be sent to the secondary location. Not only that, they'll teach the kids how to do it. They'll train them slowly. They're very patient. Thank you for the email, by the way. If we don't take up too much time, we'll get to that case. Appreciate that. Yeah, or down the hill, right? Never go to the secondary location. Once you go to the secondary location, all you're doing is sealing your own fate. Your only chance is to run or fight right there. Fight or flight. But you don't ever go to the secondary location. The only reason they want you to go there, because that's where they're going to rape, sodomize, and kill you. And then they're going to go home and hug and kiss their family. Could be a man, could be a woman, could be a teenager, could be an old woman or an old man. All right, let's see what's going on here. Allegations of enabling predators, grooming, and exploitation. Many of the most serious lawsuits claims that Roblox platform has been used by sex offenders and predators to contact, groom, and exploit minors. Families allege that children were contacted by adults on Roblox, groomed there, and then sometimes persuaded to exchange explicit images on other platforms, leading to lasting harm. Multiple cases have been consolidated into federal multi-district litigation because of similar claims against Roblox, Discord, Snap, and Meta. Fishy says, I watch my daughter very close, and she isn't allowed to use her tablet in her room, only when I'm there. Just the other day, she's like, want to know my birthday? I'm like, nope, do not tell anyone. Yeah. And that's how it happens. These predators are very patient. They're working on 50 to 60 different targets at one time. And some of them they've been working on for months already. They're already to the stage where they're sextorting them, right? They're forcing them to send images, to give them their address, to do all the horrible things that they would never ever do. But if they don't, the predator says, well, guess what? I'm going to show your parents what you've been up to. I'm going to send that dirty little photo that you sent me, and they'll name off the entire friends list. I'll send it to your best friend Jake. I'll send it to Jennifer. Looks like your third grade teacher. Mrs. Henderson. It's either that or you give me your address right now, and we talk in person. That's why you see all these little kids who end up taking their own lives. You're like, how the hell did this happen to an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, 13-year-old? That kind of thing didn't happen when we were kids. Like what? Suicidal prepubescent preteens? Like where did this come from? I think a lot of it comes from sextortion and feeling helpless. That's why they target people that are young, because they're vulnerable. Predator catcher like Skeeter Gene or Alex caught people on Roblox. I feel like it would be a cesspool, because apparently there's apps or games inside of Roblox that have like separate rules. So you can be walking around inside of Roblox and enter into like kind of another verse. And in this verse, you can actually have a conversation like you're texting each other. Well, if you're able to do that, I can just say, hey, little kid, meet me over here. Go check out this website and type this in. That's me. Right? And then also, I want you to install what is called a Vault app. So I want you to delete your calculator and go and download this Vault app, which has a decoy password. So even if the parents do find the Vault app, they say, oh my gosh, you caught me, mom. Yeah, it's a hidden app. Okay, give me the password right now. They give them the password, and it accesses like something completely different, some kind of decoy that might be just filled with silly pictures, flipping the middle finger, bunch of silly shit. But if you type in the real password, then it goes into all this other shit that was set up by the predator. So even if you're doing your own investigation, they're taking countermeasures. It's fucking scary. Absolutely. Not only that, some are probably just set up to track. They don't need anything. They'll just hack and track, get the IP address and find out where the person is. Okay, lawsuit says Roblox marketed itself as a safe place for kids while failing to implement robust protections. Claims include poor age verification, inadequate moderation, and tools that allow adults to contact minors. Some suits argue Roblox didn't sufficiently warn parents about risks to children or put strong enough controls in place to prevent exploitation. And I agree with that. Because the parents are like, okay, I did everything I needed to do. I set up all the parental controls, I'm monitoring, but they're just not fully aware of how diabolical these fucking online predators can be. Right? Keegan Klein is a good example of what to look for. Somebody that's been at it, right? Nobody wants to date that motherfucker in real life. He's disgusting. He looks like he stinks. You know, people don't want to be around that. So he's going to have to get his attention or have some kind of a, I guess he would call it a sex life, right? Catfishing young, vulnerable people. Because normal age people aren't going to give him any of that shit. He can't fool them. They're not stupid. Not saying that young people are stupid, but they're ignorant. They're ignorant to the evils of the world. And that's why he's targeting them. And that's why predators target them. They're easy targets. They don't know what's going on. Even as a parent, and you try to explain it to them, you know, they're just kind of like, yeah, I get it, blah, 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 you know, they're just kind of going right over their head. And as a parent, you're thinking, well, I'm doing everything that I should be doing. And then you start to kind of breathe and you feel confident. You're like, okay, they can stay entertained and do the things that they want to do. And I can feel safe. I'm monitoring everything. But little did you know that the game that you're monitoring inside the game has another game with its own set of rules, which is something that Roblox allowed. Hydro says, imagine if Libby and Abby would have met Keegan in real time, the picture they had of him compared to him in real life. Absolutely. That's why I believe they were set up to cross the bridge. Because once they cross the bridge and they're at a secondary location, it really doesn't matter anymore, right? It doesn't matter who Anthony Shots is at that point. That was the whole goal. The Anthony Shots account would have been only to get them to that very point. Now the work of Anthony Shots is done. We have them, right? I don't care if they know that I'm Richard Allen, Keegan Klein, or Ron Logan, or all of the above, right? We already have you. I have you at gunpoint, knife point. Who spends their time looking up people and trying to threaten them? I would never. It's just disgusting cases. Yep. All right. Several U.S. state officials have also filed lawsuits arguing that Roblox deceived parents and violated safety laws. So we've already taken up too much time. So let me play this. I was going to play the full video, but we're only going to watch the end. I want you to see the interview with their head of security.
There are new questions.
I mean, geez. And if I'm wrong, you know, I apologize, but I mean, just looking at this guy. Where is it? Oh, yeah, there he is. Maybe I'll just play the whole thing. Yeah, let's just play it. I think it's important.
There are new questions this morning about one of the most popular online games for kids.
You guys can hear that, right?
The name Roblox, right? Very popular. The game has been the target of attorneys general who claim online predators can groom, extort, and exploit kids they meet on the platform. And this morning, we have an exclusive interview with a father who says his son became a victim despite using the game's parental controls. Jolene Kent has the story.
For Stephen, a dad of two, letting his tween son play Roblox seemed like a safe bet.
I set up every parental control I could find and did the best I could.
Roblox is one of the most popular gaming platforms in the country, hosting millions of user-created games.
How fast did this happen?
Days. Within hours.
Stephen, who asked that we use only its first name for privacy, says an alleged sex offender posing as a 16-year-old befriended his 13-year-old son on Roblox in the platform's popular pet simulator game. He says the child predator then offered his son Roblox gift cards in exchange for sexually explicit photos, which the son sent via Discord, a separate gaming and chat platform.
At a certain point, it was, tell me what your address is. And when he said no, he's like, well, I have these photos of you. I'll tell your parents. He was 30 feet down the hall from us and felt too trapped to like come and talk to us.
Stephen is now among the dozens of families and attorneys general in Kentucky and Louisiana suing Roblox and other tech platforms, alleging they allowed sexual predators access to their kids.
Why sue
I heard about
Roblox
that, but like,
and Discord?
Because at the end of the day, the thing they seem to care about the most is the bottom line, the profit. It almost feels like they're a haven and for predators, pedophiles, dangerous individuals.
I would say the same thing about Facebook, Snapchat.
The suspect pleaded guilty to a first-degree felony child endangerment.
We take every case of harm extremely seriously.
Matt Kaufman is the chief safety officer at Roblox.
Our goal at Roblox is to be the safest place on the internet.
Like one of the
He says Roblox
brothers.
does not allow image sharing in filtered chats and has rolled out over 100 new safety features this year, including age estimation and increased chat monitoring.
We have safety systems that are in place by default. And a lot of these situations that you're talking about, like extortion, people sharing graphic images, they simply cannot happen on Roblox.
See, he's playing dumb. See, I don't know. There's something about this guy. He just kind of looks like a little weasel. He's like, yeah, they just can't do that on Roblox. Well, no shit, idiot. You know that they're using Roblox to send him to a secondary application. Shame on you.
They simply cannot happen on Roblox.
Stephen's attorney, Alexandra Walsh, is currently investigating hundreds of cases.
Roblox was the gateway. Roblox is the site that gave this predator, this very dangerous man, the ability to find, target, and groom this child.
Exactly. So finally, somebody is going after Roblox. I think that's great news. All right. Let's get into the second story I have lined up for you guys. This is very tragic. Now, I recently started seeing Victoria Jones. I didn't even know that Tommy Lee Jones had a daughter that he was kind of helping boost her acting career. But this is the reason I asked you guys a question about Hollywood. I just don't see why you would try to raise your children in that atmosphere. Seems very wicked to me. I feel like all those young Disney stars, those kids are all messed up, today. It's got to make you wonder all that childhood trauma. Hollywood is the streets where the rich destroy themselves. I don't know. I feel like people like Tommy Lee Jones can maintain. But then you have what happened to Victoria, right? She's trying to follow in her dad's footsteps, but she was born into that Hollywood lifestyle. And it's always drugs and just things that are just so extreme. Might give you PTSD. A lot of talk of ritual murder amongst these Hollywood folks. Right? I mean, who better to do it than people who create these Hollywood movies? Trying to create their fantasies. That's all psychotic killers do, right? They just direct their own movie. Victoria Jones, the daughter of actor Tommy Lee Jones, and his ex-wife, Kimberly, were found dead on January 1st, 2026 at age 34 in the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco. I think I have a photo of the Fairmont Hotel. It's actually really nice. Dang, baller. Here's a really good photo. Some of the movies she was part of. Men in Black 2. That's where I know her from. I think she was a child star in one of these movies. Just can't remember which one. So she was found dead January 1st at age 34 in the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco. Paramedics were called early that morning to a medical emergency at the hotel, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities do not suspect foul play, and the official cause of death has not yet been released. But I found the radio chatter. So I think it's kind of clear what happened.
One level arrest, responding control A1. Ellis, cross of Jones and Leavenworth, respond code 3 for the overdose with color change. Responding control A1.
Code 3, overdose, color change. So it looks like one of the most expensive hotels in town is a young, talented, beautiful victim of Hollywood. I think she had some recent drug charges as well. So code 3 for the overdose, color change, which can be associated with respiratory distress or cyanosis, a sign of low oxygen levels. So right now it is speculation, but that's the call right there. In the year before her death, Victoria faced several legal issues. I'm out of California. She was arrested in April of 2025 in Napa County for drug-related charges. Those charges included possession and being under the influence. She was also charged with obstruction. And then she was arrested again in June of this year on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge. I wonder who was the other party of that. Victoria appeared in a few minor acting roles, including Men in Black. Here, let's put that back up. Men in Black 2, The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, and an episode of One Tree Hill, often in projects connected to her father. I don't know. It just breaks my heart to see something like that. And that's why the question of the day is, has anything good ever come out of Hollywood? I just feel like it's just pure wickedness, all the way down to Disney. Yeah, she was very beautiful. He's looking rough. Let's put him back up there. Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, he's getting old. You can kind of see him in her and her mother. Like it's a total mix. Bogus call made to 911 with the intention of getting me killed by the responding law enforcement officers. Yeah, that's what swatting is, Anthony. It's when people find your address, and then while you're live, like let's say right now somebody, grabbed my address and went to a payphone and called 911 or called the police department here and said, Patrick Vallejos is inside his home and he's killed his family and he's holding somebody hostage. So that way the SWAT team shows up and they come in hot, right? They don't just knock on the door. This happened, I want to say in Michigan, somebody got swatted and he came out to his front door and was like, what the fuck is all this noise out here? Like they didn't even get a chance to kick in the door. They were just kind of organizing out in the front. and somebody pointed the gun at him and told him to freeze, and they accidentally shot him, killed him. So he got swatted and accidentally shot. So that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to kill you, right? They want them to come in and they want the police to kill you. Swatting is attempted murder, is what it is. CJK, it's sad because the majority get what they want. I don't have to earn it. Kids grow up entitled. Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Rob Reiner. His son Nick killed him. And you can tell that boy was troubled. Rich kid. All the money in the world and all access to all the drugs you want. I'm Tommy Lee Jones's daughter. I feel bad for her. Yep, I agree, bootleg. Yeah, it is crazy. Said there was a 5-year-old girl in fear for her safety. Well, that's all the time we have for news. Let's go ahead and get into our highlighted case, the Flora Fires. So make sure you guys don't go anywhere. Okay. In November 2016 in Flora, Indiana, 4 young sisters, Kiana Davis, who was 11, Kiara Phillips, who was 9, Carrie L. McDonald, who was 7, and Kiani Welch, who was 5, died in a house fire that authorities later determined was intentionally set. And despite years of investigation, the arsonist has never been arrested. The children's mother and 2 first responders were injured trying to save them, and the case remains unsolved with ongoing efforts by law enforcement and the FBI to find answers. So we have done extensive coverage on this. I've sent in a tip to the FBI that they've responded to. So I think what we'll do, we'll look at the dash cam footage. We'll read some of the testimony during the proceedings for the lawsuit. And then we'll open up the discussion. Then also, if you want to see the website that they've put together, let me put that back up on the screen here. It's the QR code. Oh, here, I have a better idea. Let's do this. Maybe I need to move Jari's comment. There you go. Scan that, and it'll pull up the website, which is incredible, by the way. So everything you need to know about the case and how you can help. Also, the tip line is in the description. Thank you, Jari. If you guys can hit the Cash App, great. If not, hit the like button. No. The latest update we covered recently, CJK, there's nothing new. He's going to be, his first hearing is at some point this year. I think in February, if I'm not mistaken. February 27th, perhaps? Don't quote me on that. Damn, that's so crazy, bootleg. It's like an all-out war. I don't know, CJ. It's really hard to grasp this tragedy. Like, you think Flora Fires, this is a tragedy, but when you really, really just sit and try to wrap your mind around what happened, I think the problem is a lot of people can't do that, and we don't want to do that. Like, you hear 4 young sisters, all under the age of 12, killed at the same time because of the actions of somebody that is unknown. This person is walking around right now, living their best life. It's crazy to me. Think about how sick this individual must be. Killed 4 young sisters, going about life as if nothing ever happened. Compartmentalization. Sadistic psychopaths and compartmentalization are the answers to how somebody can commit a murder and just go about life like it never happened. Maybe even blaming somebody else somehow. Thank you, Boston. Yeah, this shit makes absolutely no sense. Anthony says the true crime community ignores this case. Well, there's no bridge guy video, right? And it's hard to watch the dash cam footage, but we're going to watch it today. We're going to watch it right now, actually. And if we have time, we're at the top of the second hour, so we should have time. I think it's 18 minutes long. We'll read some of the testimony. I think it's important. There's a lot of inside information that might help those of you who are following the case and trying to find answers. And then I'll go a little bit into my person of interest and the person that I tipped into the FBI. And they actually called me back and we spoke for a while. We had a nice long conversation. Yes, it is. All right. So once again, if you guys want to go check out the website, I do recommend that you do that. And just bookmark it. That way, when we cover the case in the future, you can just kind of go to it. You'll already have it saved. Okay, so right now I'm pulling up the dash cam. Viewer discretion is advised. This is a very hard video to watch, but I think it's important. Yeah, it's 18 minutes and 41 seconds. Yes, absolutely an open case. I don't think they have any strong leads, Anthony. Like whatsoever. Somebody walked in through the backyard, through the back door around 3 a.m., poured something all over the kitchen table, all over the kitchen floor, and a little bit on the way down the steps, and lit it on fire. Something that was very interesting to me anyway, is that the next door neighbors, who one of them is Adam Ayers and his wife was the one that contacted the owner of the home. So instead of calling 911, they called the owner of the home, who was also their relative and the owner of their home.
County, send Cutler Fire as well. Get Cutler Fire in route as well. Yeah, where are the kids? Upstairs? One's upstairs. They're around the corner to the left.
So close, but so far away. Up the stairs to the left. Right? Sounds easy.
Guys, the medics as well. Josh, you good? Josh, you good? I'm good. You good?
So you're hearing the microphones they wear on their body. No dash cams, just body cams and microphones. Nope. They've been trying to get that all the 911 calls for a long time.
You go around the corner. Please. Let's go. Keep going. Guys, keep sending up time, please. We still got 4 kids inside. We can't get inside.
So they've already dispatched fire, but guess what? There is no fire. Nobody is coming. Nobody received the call. Nobody's gearing up. Nobody's starting the fire truck. No, there's nothing. The girls are already dying right now at this very moment. This is the hardest part for me to watch. The incompetence. Not of these guys, but whoever put these systems into place.
I don't do anything like that here. I know.
Like, what the hell? There's actually guys there at the station, and nobody's picking up. This is crazy to me. All volunteers.
My car's out here. We need to roll those.
So if you guys are going to move to a rural town, make sure you look into the fire department before you do anything.
Cool.
Yeah, this dude's already got like burns all over his head and shit.
Hey, they're coming. They're right here.
Yeah, Yoder's like, I'm doing whatever I can. Because I definitely can't go up those stairs.
They have a
And you got all these suspicious people. Like, that looks like Patrick Westfall. Like, it really does. And that's where his house was, apparently. So I don't know if he had already moved, though, I believe. Because he was living in Delphi around time of the murders, which was just a few months after this. Yeah, breaking the windows, I didn't think was a very good idea. I don't know. That's a good idea, Boston. Maybe like a wet blanket or something. Because you're more worried about the smoke than you would be the flames, and I think that's what kind of screwed them up. They were like, okay, there's no flames over here; it's just all smoke. I'm gonna run up there, but by the time you get to the top, and you can't breathe at all, and you're just filled with smoke, that's it. You can't do anything. You just start to pass out. You're not gonna be any good if you pass out and die as well. So when you feel yourself dying, it's just like you force yourself down the stairs. Because if you pass out, what good are you? You can't go get help. You can't direct people. You can't tell them, hey, to the left, go further back. They're up on, bunk beds. So same thing with the cops, right? They went up there and they realized if I go any further, I'm going to die here. I got to get down the steps and get the professionals here to get up, break these windows, and retrieve these kids maybe from the second floor. Same with the mother. I need to go up here, but if I die here, I can't help them. We're all just going to die. There's a couple of people that are interesting that end up coming in front of the camera here. You got the one guy that kind of looks like Patrick Westfall. I don't know if it's him or not. I believe he had moved from that area. And then somebody else in like a blue coat, who strangely enough kind of looks like the bridge guy. Makes you wonder who it is. Richard Allen has a family friend right across the street. Last name is Jones. That's a good question, Jari. Why didn't they go through the window? Yoder LDS Church. Why? Because of the name? Yeah, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. See, who's this person right here? Right here, that doesn't look like Patrick Westfall. What happened? Did I miss it? Yeah, it doesn't look like him. It's definitely a big boy, though. Could be. Yeah, you're going to feed the fire. Just a big guy, kind of, the kind of clothing he would wear from his era. Basketball shorts and a hoodie. Right? That's an 80s kid right there. But that could just be the way it appears. And he used to live right there. So Patrick Westfall used to live right up the street there. And he would have been coming from that direction. But it's my understanding that he had already moved by this time and was living in Delphi. Yeah, they break all the front windows, and then even before they showed up, Adam Ayers was breaking the upstairs window in the girl's bedroom. Why was he doing that? Nobody told him to do that shit. Let's see. So 7 minutes. 7 minutes from the point Yoder went and grabbed them. Who knows how long the fire was burning prior to that? 8 minutes, those girls were already gone. And still, it doesn't even seem like anybody's going up there to get them. Oh, yeah. VLC's the shit. I don't think there's anything you can't do with VLC. Yeah, it sounds terrifying, Boston. Just walking by like nothing going on. What the fuck? Yeah, very strange, huh? Like makes you wonder if that's the person who lit the fire. Because with a lot of arsonists, they'll come back and they'll kind of observe, their Hollywood production. Like I did all this. Look at my masterpiece. Yeah, so that's not including from the original 911 call, from when the neighbors didn't even call 911, they called the homeowners and then called 911. So, I mean, there's a good chance that the girls were dead before Yoder even showed up, honestly. What's up, Taynam, aka Cheeks? So it looks like we got another looky-loo here. I'm just going through the documents right now. Let's see. I guess we can check out what Galen had to say, because it is very interesting. Maybe we'll read her transcript and then also Josh Ayers. All right. So it starts out this way. So you were living with your father. Galen says, yes, I was. And at some point you moved out of his house? Yes, sir. Where did you move to? To the Columbia Street apartment. Okay, and if my memory is right, was that May of 2016? Yes. How did you learn of that house being for rent? I don't remember. Do you have a walkthrough? Did you have a walkthrough of that? I guess I should back up. When we talk about the house or the apartment, we're talking about that 103 East Columbia Street, Flora, Indiana. Is that your understanding as well? Yes, sir. From here on out, I'll probably just call it the property or the apartment. And that's what I'm referring to. Okay. Okay. Did you have an opportunity to do a walkthrough of the apartment before you began renting it? Yes. Okay. What did you think of it? I liked it. Okay. Did it appear to be clean to you? Yes. Okay. It appeared to be a nice place? Yes. Okay. Did you have any concerns about the apartment at that time? No. Okay. It didn't look like a junky house or apartment or anything? No. When you moved into the apartment or that house, did you have any sense of how long you would stay there? No. Okay. Did you have any plans of being in Flora for a few years or permanently? No. Okay. Did you have any plans to leave? Not in a short span, but more like in the future. What were those plans in the future generally? Just to actually find something a little bit better, somewhere different, more shopping centers, probably a little bit like a city. Bigger city than Flora? Yes, sir. Okay. And so, okay. Did you know Josh Ayers before you moved into that apartment? No, sir. I'm sorry, just 1 second here. Did you know Troy Helderman? No, sir. Did anyone recommend that house or apartment to you? No. Okay, when you moved, after you moved in, did you have any problems with the apartment? Yes. So we'll pause there and we'll catch up on the chat. Yep, we had a house fire a few houses down not long ago and people came running and they stayed and stared for hours. One dude drove from another state just to film it for his YouTube page. Yeah, Anthony, it's very traumatic, especially not what you see, but more what you hear. Absolutely fishy. Yeah, if it wasn't for this case, I wouldn't be so anal about my smoke detectors. I keep them renewed. I swap them out every 5 years now. Typically, it's 15. No, 5 years, they're gone. The fire eat the house very fast. Just don't know how you walk by and don't help. I was involved in an accident with a mom and 3 girls. The mother was wasted. The girls crying and scared. My first reaction was to help the kids. Absolutely. Most people do help. They're interviewing Galen. So they're talking to Galen Rose right now. And this is while she's trying to sue not only the homeowners, but the insurance company. Okay, when you moved in, after you moved in, did you have any problems with the apartment? Yes. Okay, what were those problems? Electricity and plumbing. And that's about it. Okay, what about the electricity? I had a water leak in the kitchen. Okay, is that a plumbing or electricity? I had water leaking out of the water, out of the ceiling where the light fixture was. Okay, so what I'm curious about is when you say water and electricity or the plumbing and electricity, was that one or the same problem? Or were those separate problems, do you know? Separate problems. Separate, okay. So the electricity is the problem you're describing with water near the light on the ceiling. In the kitchen, yes. In the kitchen, okay. When did you notice that? That happened maybe some months after I moved in the apartment. Okay, how did you discover it? It was literally water coming from the ceiling like you would turn on your faucet at home. Okay, are you saying then it was dripping from the middle of the room down onto the floor or something? Yes. So when you noticed it, what did you do? I called the landlord. Who is that? Josh Ayers. Okay, did you get a hold of him? I did. And what did you tell him? I just pretty much explained to him the problem, what was going on. And then he referred me and told me that he would send climate tech people out. Did they come out? Yes. Do you remember who that was? No. Did they fix the problem? To my knowledge, yes, but I don't think it was fixed. What do you mean by that? The water stopped leaking, but I still had problems with my electricity. Okay, all right. After you called Josh Ayers and he said climate tech would come out, do you remember how long it was until the climate tech came out? No. Okay, was it within a short time? Yes. Okay, climate tech came out, they made the water stop leaking and they did it pretty promptly. What did you say? Yeah, I'm sorry. Climate tech came out and they fixed the water issue and they did it pretty early. They fixed the leaking and they did it fairly promptly? Yes. After climate tech came out and the water was no longer leaking, did you have any more problems with the water leaking? The electricity would go out. Okay, all right. And I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. But after climate tech came out and made the water not leak anymore, did you ever have the issue where it would fall from the ceiling down to your floor? No. So the water leak itself, the water stopped leaking, and that was never a problem anymore. But then what was the electricity problem? The breakers kept popping. Okay, and so did you tell anybody about this? Yes. Who did you tell? Josh Ayers. Okay, and what did he do? He came out and he, on my side, came out and reset the breakers to where the electricity would come back on. That's all he did. So basically, he didn't do anything, right? He just came on and went flick and flicked the switch. Okay, does that mean he reset the breaker? Yes. Okay, did that fix the problem? Yes. Okay, did that occur once or more than once? Twice. I'm sorry, it occurred twice. Twice? with him. And then I also had to let the girl upstairs come downstairs to switch on her breakers because she had problems with her lights going on and off. Okay, how often did that happen? That the neighbor from upstairs would come down? Twice, to my knowledge. Twice the whole time you lived there? Mm-hmm. And just for the record, was that a yes? Yes, it was. I hope you know if I say that in the future, I have no intention to be rude. It's just a matter of making sure the record is clear. So if I'm understanding you correctly, Josh had to reset the breaker twice for your apartment, and then the upstairs neighbor reset it twice for her apartment. It was two different tenants, so these were two different occasions. So your upstairs neighbor at some point switched while you were living there? Yes, sir. So did one of those reset the breaker occur with the prior neighbor? Yes, and then maybe a few months later, the new lady had a problem with her lights. Okay, and that's Courtney Dunn? Yes. Okay, all right. When you reported to Josh Ayers that you were having a problem with the electricity, did you address that quickly? Yes. Okay, and did you have any other problems with the apartment before the fire? No. Is that a no for the record? No. Okay, is there anything else that you called Josh Ayers for and asked him to fix? And that was the end of that conversation. Yeah, exactly. Placating. There, see? It's that, kind of like you bothered me for that. And there's always two sides to every story. Maybe she was complaining, right, about all the issues, which you should. That's the only benefit of renting, right? Is complaining about all the shit that's wrong. Like, hey, my AC's not working, or I have a leak, or the toilet's not flushing. Like, I'm paying rent, these high prices, so I don't have to deal with this shit. So what am I paying you for, right? So maybe he got sick of all that shit. He's a slumlord. Perhaps. All right, I think we might have time to go through Josh Ayers, his transcript. Let's see if I have it here. I think these were all sent to me by Jinx. I've had different people send me stuff, but I think all of these court filings, I think, came from her. So shout out to Jinx. Let's see. Yeah, Josh Ayers. I always have problems with Adobe Acrobat. I don't fucking know why. Here, let's try this again. So annoying. We need to get a new computer. Jeez. The only problem with this Adobe Reader here is that it's connected to the internet. And there's no way to work with it offline. It's fucking stupid. All right, good morning, Mr. Ayers. Can you please give your name that you were given at birth and spell it for the record, please? My name is Joshua Stewart Ayers. Okay, Mr. Ayers, where did you grow up? Flora, Indiana. I'm sorry, say it again. Flora, yes. Flora, yes. Okay, and where do you currently live? I live at 220 South Willow Street. How long have you lived at that address? Since 98. Okay, what is the highest level of education you have obtained? I have an associate's degree from Ivy Tech. Hey, that's where Richard Allen went, Ivy Tech, for accounting. In what? It's HVAC refrigeration. I think it's technically industrial technology. Okay, can you give us the benefit of your employment history? Yeah, I worked at Stevens IGA as a teenager, and then I've worked at Ayers Hardware the rest of my life. All right, and is that all? Just Ayers Hardware, or do you have other? Well, I also formed Climatech Heating and Cooling in 2010. So that too since then. All right, and when I say employment, how do you understand that? Mr. Bont, objection. Vague and ambiguous. Can you clarify, please? Sure. I want to make sure we're both talking about employment history. Do you consider employment where somebody else has hired you or where you are kind of the owner and operator? I've always worked with my dad or at the IGA. So I guess it could be either. Okay. In my mind, all right. What other business ventures have you gone through? Rental properties? Okay. And is that just you personally? No, I have partner and partners. All right, tell me about that. We have two rental corporations. One is JTM Management LLC, and the other one is Birch Tree Holdings LLC. And do you also rent homes in your individual name, like outside of those two? No, I do not. And who are your partners? Troy Helderman is partner with Birch Tree, and Matt McIntosh is partner with him and I in JTM. Okay, so let me ask that again correctly. So you and Troy Helderman are partners for which businesses? Birch Tree Holdings. And what was Matt's last name? McIntosh. And can you spell that? MACINTOSH. All right. And you are partners for, he is JTM Management LLC, which stands for Josh, Troy, and Matt. Okay. So then is Troy Helderman a partner of that corporation also? Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Is there any other, in your employment history, any other business ventures that you've been a part of? Not that I can think of. All right. Let's move on to your litigation history. Have you ever sued anyone? Have I ever sued anybody? I didn't hear you. Yes. No, I have not. Yes. Have you ever sued anyone? Well, we did some small claim stuff, where people don't pay their bills, if that counts. Yes. Is that something you did frequently? No. Okay. Do you have the names of the people that you have taken to small claims? No, I do not. Troy usually handles that. I don't get too involved with that. All right. Is it your name on the lawsuit? No, 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 no. It wouldn't be me. It would be one of our businesses. All right. Have you personally ever sued anyone? No, I have not. Okay. Have you ever been sued before? No. Have you ever been arrested before? No, I have not. Have you ever been a witness in a case? No. All right. Do you have any hobbies? Yes. Tell me about that. I have some cows that we like to take care of. A little hobby with my cows. I like to raise cows and play with them. Again, yes, that would be a hobby. Great. And do you keep those on your property? Yes. How many cows do you have? We've got nine cows. Which a cow is an animal that already had a baby. If you don't know that. I didn't know that until I got into this. We have got two small heifers right now that are basically calves. We have 9 heifers and a bull, and we have a new bull that we're raising. We have 2 small calves we're probably going to eat. But that's what, 13, 14? All right. So you have a small ranch, kind of, I guess. Just sort of multiply. You have 2 cows, and all of a sudden you have 3. And then there's 4. Then you bought a couple, and it just kind of happens. All right. Is that just you that takes care of the cows? No, Troy and I do that together. Okay. So do you have a ranch LLC plus LLC? Plus chickens. We have chickens too. So we like eggs. I've got chickens. We've got chickens. Yeah. Okay. I made a little joke. I said, do you have a ranch LLC or a farm? No, we don't. No. Okay. That's what you personally do. I understand. What to draw your attention to the big date that we're going to be talking about all day today, which would be November 21st, 2016. So did you have, we went through all of your partnerships, businesses that you ventured into. Were you a part of all those businesses in November 21st of 2016? Yes. So that would be, just to clarify, the hardware store, Birch Tree, the JTM Management LLC. Is that correct? Yes. And the cows too. Did you have all of the cows on November 21st, 2016? They come and go. So I can't say exactly how many we had, but yes, we had some. Okay, very good. And for the JTM Management LLC, were you the owner or member, manager? What was your role there? Just a member. Just a member? And how about the Birch Tree? The same thing. Yes, just a member. All right. And Ayers Hardware? I guess you could say co-owner of that one. All right. Who is the owner? Troy and my dad. What is your father's name? John Ayers. All right. Do you own it three ways, like a third and a third and a third? No, Troy and I, dad owns 20% and we own the other 80. 40. So it's me 40, Troy 40, and dad 20. Got it. And when it comes to Ayers Hardware, can you tell us about any training that you took? Bootleg says perhaps Sumatra PDF viewer could maybe. I'll take a look. Let me write that down. Pen's dying here. Yeah, check it out. Okay, so I guess I've been around it since I was born, and as far as training goes, as far as I have my degree, that's various. I've been to various seminars. I don't know where to start. Okay, so tell me about the seminars you've been to. Oh, various suppliers have, seminars to learn about their product. Shit, we're running out of time. Let's see if I can zoom down here. Okay, here we go. Okay, you're going to have to be more specific because I have 19,000 different products in our store. All right. So you sell smoke detectors. Great question, right? You sell smoke detectors? Yes. Or fire detectors? Yes. Fire extinguishers? Yes. Carbon monoxide detectors? Yes. Have you ever been on any seminar dealing with safety equipment? No. All right. Any seminars on fire prevention? Not since high school, probably when they came in and talked to you. Smokey Bear comes in and talks to you. No. Okay, so tell me what you remember about that. Not much. I don't know where to start. Do you remember the stop, drop, and roll? I remember the stop, drop, and roll. That's what I remember. I'm sure you can remember more things. Don't play with matches, I guess. Like they said, don't mess with fire. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So when you have the products that you're selling at your hardware store, do you review and read the instructions? I have, yes, on different products. Not everything. Not everything, no. How about, we were talking about the smoke detectors. Have you ever read the instructions on those? Can't say that I have. All right. And do you know how to use that product? Yes. Okay. And is it very complicated? Is it a very complicated product? No, it's not complicated. Okay. Describe how you use one. I don't know that there is any use to it. You just have to hang it up, put it in your house. Okay. Batteries? Yes, batteries. Sure. Okay. How often should a person check the batteries on a smoke detector? That's a good question. Yearly, maybe. Okay. And how often are batteries supposed to be replaced? I do know that a lot of these newer detectors last 4 or 5 years on a 10-year battery. Okay. Does the battery come with the smoke detectors? Almost all of them, yes. And the ones that you sell in your store, do the batteries come with, or do you have to purchase the batteries separate? There's a lot of them, so I can't say if they all come with batteries or not. All right, we're going to have to take a pause there. I had a feeling we were going to run out of time. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have. If you guys have anything to add, do it now. This will be our 5-minute warning. And I think I'm going to do another live stream on this case separately. One of these mornings. Maybe we can just sit here and read through all those court papers. But my person of interest would be Adam Ayers. He's the next door neighbor and relative of Josh Ayers, the owner. And he has history there. He's actually in prison now. He was awake when the fire started. And he's in prison for terrorizing his wife, who is the person that actually called 911 after calling the owner of the home. So when I called the FBI, that's who I told them to look at. I told them to go directly to Adam Ayers. He's already in prison for battery, sexual assault, all kinds of crazy shit. Methamphetamines, burglary. We're talking about a bad dude. And he was the first one on scene, right? He heard Galen screaming. He ran in, tried to save the girls, came out, was unable to, and then started breaking out their bedroom windows with rocks. And he's the one that reported seeing the ribbons of fire. He's the only one that witnessed it. Rescue. Adam Ayers, yep, that's the one. First responder. He has history in the home. He lived next door. The person who started the fire came in through the back door. He would have known how easy it would be to get in through there. All he would have to do is walk out of his side door, through a gate, and in through the backyard. So it may not have been an insurance scam. This dude could have just been pissed off, high on drugs. His wife made a statement to law enforcement that she was already awake, right? She was already awake around like 2:30, between 2:30 and when the fire started, right? If he's in prison for attacking his wife, it makes you wonder why she was awake, right? He had her awake. She couldn't sleep. She didn't say we couldn't sleep. She said I couldn't sleep. I wonder why she told the police that she couldn't sleep. I think it was because of that piece of shit with a history of violence and meth abuse. So I think he was high on meth when this happened. Started the fire out of some kind of petty rage. Maybe he didn't even know anybody was there at the time. And then when the fire got out of control and he saw Galen, like thinking, what the hell are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. I thought you would be gone, right? And then doing his best to go up there and save the girls and realizing I can't, and nothing can be done. There's just too much smoke coming up here. And then he begins to frantically break the windows, trying to undo what he did. Good to see you, Bootleg. Thanks for the emails. I'll take a look at them. Oh, did I miss something? Something going on? Yeah, you never know. Damn, live got hacked. It wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, just ignore it. It's the Flora cult coming after us. That was weird, Boston. Yeah, I never know. Well, good live stream, everybody. If you have any information on what happened to those 4 sisters that were murdered in Flora, the tip line is right there in the description. We're gonna cover this case in the future. Maybe something where we can do one of those boring live streams where we just cram all the information, and then you can kind of pick and choose and come back to the live stream whenever you want to. Maybe we'll go through all those documents. Or I could do a few series of short videos where I summarize all of those documents and kind of drop them for you guys. We'll see. But we'll stay on top of the case. And we do have a members only. Remember, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sleuth Intuition Live. And then on Sundays, it's Sleuth Intuition Live members only. So this Sunday, keep a lookout. And we got merch back on tap, guys. I don't have it for you now, but we're gonna be doing a raffle during the members live stream. I think we might give away some t-shirts. But yeah, we got some great merch. I can't wait till it comes in. We got some new hats. We're gonna make it real simple for you. You just shoot a Cash App over, boom, here's $45. Put in your own passcode, and then email me with that same passcode in the subject line, and I'll communicate with you there. I'll see your passcode matches the payment, and then I'll get your shipping information. I'll get it out to you within 2 weeks. We got like 4 new designs, 2 different types of hats, all kinds of hoodies. Like, man, I grabbed a bunch of shit. So we'll try to hustle those and, support what we're doing here on this channel. Try to fund the operation, I guess. Because we do want to do a lot of boots on the ground, get new equipment. I definitely need a new computer. So if anybody ends up buying merch or donating, that's probably what you're donating to. Gas money and probably a new computer. But yeah, we got tons of merch. We're going to hustle it all throughout the next month or two. So make sure you guys get your hands on that. Thank you, Boston. All right. And if there's anything you guys want me to take a look at, any cases, email them to me. Right now, I've started a Sleuth Intuition Live folder, and it's a lot of your emails I haven't responded to, but I'm saving them. I'm saving them in a special folder, and then I'm going through there, and I'll slowly be getting back to you guys. And if you want to, if you guys want to join me as a guest and talk about any of these cases that you're interested in, and maybe even educate me on what's going on, yeah, just let me know. Shoot me an email, and you guys can be a guest anytime you want to. Like I said, this is going to be a regular Wednesday, Friday, members only on Sundays. So we need to stay busy. So look forward to that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. If you need to get a hold of me, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. And if you are part of the replay crew, you know exactly what to do. Drop a comment. We'll get back to you. Make sure you guys go check out sleuthintuition.com. Slowly building up the website. And if you want any merch, shoot me an email and I'll tell you how to get your hands on it. I'm telling you, I didn't get a whole lot. Probably a dozen pieces, and it's gonna sell fast. So if you want a hat, a hoodie, or a cool new t-shirt, let me know. You guys can do your pre-ordering now. I should have them in within the week. Thank you, Jari. There's the email. And all my members, I'll see you this Sunday. And remember, we're going to be raffling off a t-shirt if I get them in. It may just be a large, because I know I'm getting in the larges here in a day or two. So it may just be a large t-shirt. We'll see. We'll see what we get in. But either way, be there or be square. Peace, guys.